Hello everyone, my name is Raphael, I'm a platform engineer, and I'm going to show you how you could import an existing AWS service to a Terraform state. And to do this, I will share with you how you could do these tasks using two very cool and powerful tools, like for example the ChatGPT and a LocalStack. Alright, so about the LocalStack, I want to share with you that it's an emulator that allows us to emulate AWS APIs locally on our machine. It's a very cool because we could consider as our sandbox, alright, but not only to use it locally, but you could integrate with your development lifecycle process to maintain your own Terraform modules, alright. So this is a very recommended tool to test your modules without need to set an AWS account or credentials, alright. It's a very powerful tool. And ChatGPT, I believe that everyone already knows about this generative AI solution, right? It's one of the most famous AI solutions, and I will use the ChatGPT here to get the commands we needed to use, since the AWS CLI commands that we will have to run until the Terraform code that we needed to write. Alright, so the idea will be pretty much to share and to show you how powerful this tool is and how we could get some advantage on our day-to-day to become more productive. Alright, so let me return to my VS Code in here. As we can see, already prepared some files here to this presentation. As we can see, we have two JSON files. So the first one here is an assumed role that we will need to create the AWS resource. Alright, important to say that presentation on my example, I will create an IAM role. And to create an IAM role, we needed to specify an assumed role policy. And as you can see here, this is the second JSON policy that we have, and this will be used to create an inline policy. All right, so let's start here. So the first step will be to create the IAM role. So once we have the IAM role created, the second step will be import that IAM role to a Terraform state. All right, so I will use in here the ChatGPT to generate the commands that I needed to run on my terminal. So let me just ask in here how to create an IAM role using AWS CLI. Okay, in some seconds you will have the result in here with a short explanation and also with the command that we will need to use to execute, right? So there we go. As we can see here, we already have the commands that we needed to use. ChatGPT will also generate a simple policy that we can use, alright? But I will not get and use this because I already prepared the file, as I mentioned, alright? So let me just copy here the command that we needed to execute. So let me paste in here. I needed to adjust the name of the policy, right? Because this is AWS assumed role JSON. We will have to adjust the name. Let me just use a simple name, test. And important to say that consider that we are working with an emulator, so we need to specify for the AWS CLI the AWS endpoint for that resource that we are going to create, right? So AWS CLI has an option to specify the endpoint URL equals HTTP column / localhost 4566. That's the port that LocalStack operates locally. And the command IAM create role name test, assume role policy document, pointing to our policy JSON file. All right. Okay, very good. As we can see, we created the role test. Let me quit. The next step will be to attach that policy, the inline policy, to the role that we just created here, right? So let me return to the ChatGPT and let me ask it how to add an inline policy to an IAM role. Okay. All right. We already have here the comment. Let me just copy here the comment. As the first example, we can see that for every comment, we have an explanation. All right. So let me return it to the terminal. You pass here the comment. I needed to specify here the document, policy document file, column // but now I will specify the other file inline policy.json, and I needed to adjust the name of the role as well as the name of the policy line. And here, as the first execution, we needed to specify the endpoint. All right, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, it was attached. So now we have the resource created. So the next step will be try to import that IAM role to Terraform state. All right, so to do this, I needed to return here to the VS Code, and we will have to create our Terraform code here. And to do this, I will one more time use the ChatGPT, right? So let me just create a new chat here. As you can see here, it's crazy. I'm using a lot of this. So as you can see, I'm getting a lot of fun with the ChatGPT, all right? So let me start a new chat, and I will put in here how to create an IAM role using Terraform. Okay, and let's wait for the code generation. Okay, he's saying that we needed to specify the provider. In our case in here will not be necessary because yeah, let me just return into the VS Code. It's very important. As you can see here, I already prepared the provider.tf for the presentation, and the reason is because we are using a local emulator, right? So what it means that LocalStack, to use LocalStack with Terraform, we need to specify also the endpoints. And as you can see here, I specified the endpoints available. And you will notice that we don't have all the AWS APIs here. It's because LocalStack provides two ways to use. The first way is a freemium mode and a pro mode. What it means that if you want to use all AWS APIs, you will have to pay a subscription, because on the pro subscription, you will have all the AWS APIs. And important to say that to set this locally, once you have the subscription, you will probably unlock the additional APIs that's not available on the freemium option, right? So for now, consider that we are going to create a pretty simple IAM role. This IAM role is available on freemium option, all right? So I will not cover the pro subscription, but I really recommend that you reserve some time to take a look with details about this on the LocalStack page. All right, so now we were waiting for the ChatGPT to create the code. So as you can see here, yeah, it created. I already opened a page here to compare a page from the Terraform registry, specifically for the role. So as we can see here, seems that ChatGPT created correctly. So as we can see, we have in here the role name, assume role policy, and the block for the inline policy. If we return here, we can see that we have the name, assume role policy, and inline policy. Okay, it's good. But I will use this example here because I'm interested on using this second resource, the policy document, all right? Because I wanted to do something different on the presentation. That is, I wanted to use the ChatGPT to convert a JSON file to this statement that is required to use the AWS IAM policy document data source, right? Because as you can see, the statement for this type of resource is fully different of JSON file, right? So we needed to use a different format. So I will copy this to use on our Terraform code. So let me paste in here. All right, but we still needed to format and to configure properly the policy document, all right? And to do this, I will remove this first inline policy because we only need one, all right? So we will have to create two IAM policy document. We will have the first one for the inline and a second one for the assume role. Okay, so let me just copy and paste in here. So we have the inline policy and assume role policy, all right? So let me confirm in here because we are calling this data source in here for both assume and inline policy. So data policy document instance assume role policy. No, it's not instance, it's just assume role. So let me fix this part of the code. Okay, for the inline policy, I believe that it's correct in IAM policy document, inline policy, all right? So now I will use the ChatGPT to convert. So let's see. Please convert the following JSON policy to the Terraform AWS IAM policy document statement. I will paste here and let's wait. Very good. As you can see here, the ChatGPT generated. So let's copy this part of the code and return it here to the main.tf file, and for the assume role policy. Okay, let me copy this part of the code too. All right. Okay, now we need to do the same for the inline policy. Okay, so let me copy and do the same for the following JSON content. Okay, and there we go. Yeah, in short, it could save us a lot of time, right? Because for those who is working with Terraform knows that sometimes it's difficult when we need to import an existing resource, and mainly those resources that contain policies attached with a huge content, you know. So we could become more productive with this type of solution like ChatGPT for this type of tasks, right? So let me just copy here, return it to the main.tf file, and we will have to copy and paste the content in here. All right, let me fix this. Okay. All right, so it seems that we have correct formatting here. Very good. So now the next step will be to execute Terraform phases. All right, important to say that if you are starting working with the Terraform, so we have some phases when we are going to apply the code. So the first phase is the init, where you will initialize your Terraform state. The second phase is the validate, where you can validate the code, and the plan is the third step. So the plan, you generate a plan. What it means that what exactly the Terraform will execute, all right? And finally, as the last step, we have the apply, where we will apply the code against the AWS, all right? In our case here, we are going to use the local stack. So, okay. So back to the terminal here. I will run the Terraform init. Okay. Important to say that in this phase, as we can see, Terraform will download plugins necessary to create the resources, right? It depends on the type of resource that we are using. So consider that we are using resources for AWS. As we can see here, it's installing the HashiCorp AWS plugins to be possible to create AWS resources. All right, so it was successfully initialized. So the second step is to validate the code. So let's see if it's everything is okay. So yeah, seems that everything was configured properly. All right, so let's execute the Terraform plan. Right, so very good. But important to say that we will not execute yet the Terraform apply, because the main goal of this video will be show you how you could import an existing resource. So now we will execute the Terraforming part, all right? And to do this, I will need to use the HashiCorp page of the resource, because there we will find the instructions to import the existing resource, right? So as we can see here on the plan, the first resource is the IAM role, all right? So what it means that we needed to import this first resource, but to import this, let me return it to HashiCorp page, and on the end of the page we will see the instructions to import the resource, as we can see here, all right? Obviously that we needed to adjust the command, so let me put in here, and I needed to specify the resource name. Okay, let me get this, and the ID of the resource for the IAM role will be this one, all right? Oops, what is happening? Okay. All right, sorry. So yeah, I used the wrong ID for the resource. So as you can see now, I used the correct ID, that is the name of the role, right? So after execute this import, it means that now we have the IAM role under Terraform control. So, and how we could ensure this? Just interacting with Terraform state. So I will run the Terraform state list, and as you can see, we have three resources under Terraform control. The first one is the data source for the ASM role policy. The second one is the data source for the inline policy, and the third is the AWS IAM role, right? And now let me just run the Terraform plan one more time, and let's see the results. Okay, all right, so we have a different result in here, as you can see, right? So what it's trying to do is trying to replace due to the name of the role. Let me just confirm one thing here. Yeah, this is the problem. You can see it was my bad, but was a good example, right? Because sometimes it happens when we are working with the Terraform. As we can see, we created the role initially using a different name that was test, but during the Terraform code creation, I used a different one. So we need to fix this to test. All right, let me save. Now I will run the Terraform plan one more time. All right, let's see. Very good. It's a different output, as you can see. So now it's very important, all right, mainly for those who starting working with Terraform, all right. So we need to pay attention on this status of the resources on the plan output. So as you can see previously, it was trying to replace the existing resource because the resource was created using the name test, but we were going to use a different name. Again, it was my bad, but it was very good, right? I'm happy that it happened here on this presentation because, again, it's something that we may need to deal, right, and work with Terraform, mainly with this type of task, importing existing resources, all right? So after fix this and starting using the correct name of the code, and after executing the plan one more time, you can see that we have a different output. And now it's saying that will be updating place. What is good, because it will not create anymore the role, because the role already exists, but it will try to apply some differences. What it means that we still have to do some actions here, because it will try to remove the current inline policy to add a new one, but the content is the same. What it means that we need to import the inline policy, right? So as we can see here on this output, it seems that I also forgot to specify the correct name for the inline policy, right? So did remember that we executed the AWS CLI to create the both the IAM role and the IAM policy, and the name for the IAM policy that I used was the inline, all right? So let me fix that. I will execute one more time the Terraform plan, and fingers crossed, all right? So let's see. Very good. As we can see, we have again different output, right? So as we can see, the status will be updated in place. And the only thing that will be changed is the max session duration, all right? So, okay, we are good to apply the code, all right? It will not recreate, will not cause any issue, all right? So let's just execute Terraform, apply. It will probably ask us to confirm, right? So we will have a chance to take a look and confirm, all right, the information. So yeah, it's good. We could pretty much add an yes, and let's wait for Terraform apply. Very good. Now let's execute the Terraform plan one more time. Let's see the result, and it will, and as you can see, it does not detect any changes, what is good, right? So what it means that what we have from the side of the code is same what we have on the side of the infrastructure, right? So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.